good evening, good morning, whatever time it might be for you. Hope you're doing well. Hmm, how your day is going. Let's uh, let's talk about a couple things and try to take the normal things that people are talking about and give another level to it, perhaps. With this cozy headband on. I like to wear headbands sometimes because they're cozy, they're comfy. Hmm. Also, I like to get up at odd hours. So for here, what time is it here for me? It's like 3, perhaps. Hmm. Let's talk about the GameStop phenomenon. Let's talk about the love and light prostitutes, and let's talk about getting played by both sides of the gambit. The like somebody plays the thesis of the gambit, and somebody responds with their defensive gambit, their antithesis. Let's talk about that. That one's interesting because people get so frustrated with they play it so they finesse the shit out of it. And I'd like to give you an example here. We'll talk about Space Force. Now, this was very funny because this guy was very adamant about how angry he was, but he was giving a good laugh to it because if anybody's familiar with this Saki girl, her name is Saki. Imagine that, red-haired woman, red-haired white chick named Saki. The levels of humor are just beyond me. Saki Chinese, Joe Biden Chinese, Trumpy guy was with the Russians. Russians, the kind of more white with red hair in that direction, Icelandic, blah blah blah. Very funny, but her name is Saki, and she can't answer a question about anything. Everything can circle back to it. Circle back, right? That one. Well, somebody had asked her about the Space Force because we're supposed to have a Space Force, and she snickered and laughed at it, and was like, oh, I'll just circle back to that. Once I get some information on that. Because what does Joe Biden's do? Is he going to continue on that? She laughed at it, and he was so upset. The guy that was reviewing this, he took it as quite an offense because it was part of a military operation. I'm not quite understanding what military operations are for. Still believing that there is some sort of divide between countries. That they're all not actors playing a bigger game against the population. Like he's okay. Now here's why it's funny, because certainly the Space Force thing is funny. Funny to me, it's funny because while that might be true in some way that there is some Space Force and blah blah blah, I don't necessarily see that the way they're presenting to us is what we is exactly what it is. It's kind of like believing in. He's like, it's an official organization. There's good people that work there, respected generals, respected. I was like, yeah, I'm not who respects those people, because they're those military personnel for the most part. Most of what they do is psychological operations, and they're no different than actors, and basically we get into like what is going on barefoot. What you doing? So she laughs at it, and he was so upset by this. But she was right in laughing at it in the sense that like it's not really what you think it is. Not so why would the U.S. have a space force to protect the world? Is that what I don't understand? Shouldn't the UN have done that? What's going on here? And if it's the United Nations, like, oh, somebody who's against that? Who's against the United Nations? Who's against the World Bank? Oh, there's only a few countries, and who are they? That's a very simple story to look into. There used to be like 7 of them, then there was 5. Now I think there's 3 left. But even at that, I think that's still part of a bigger game, anyways. Let me look into the economic hitman and propaganda. I mean, it's this. It's that. How are people so lost in the fact that no matter where you live, whether you're under a communist regime, a socialist government, a um, capitalist society, you don't think there is propaganda on every front to the general public. So he's like, I am not a I'm not a professionalist, but I've read up on this and I've read it. I'm like, yeah, but you're not. You're reading it. You have to look in between what you've read. You have to understand what the game they're playing is, and it's playing their minds. It's playing them, because these people, these world leaders, aren't against each other. There's not some major wars to take over some lands. These are not. This is not what's happening. It's never happening. What? Like, it's not. It's probably a real deal war probably has not occurred in a very, very long time. If you wanted to be honest about it. So that's one level of funny to me. Um, I mean, it's all the same to me, man. I mean, that if we talk about galactic and alien and other realm or other outer space, not upper space, but if we talk about other realms, or if we talk about um, extraterrestrial, it just means more terrain. Terrestrial means terrain. Yes, certainly. There's more world than we're led on to believe. It's just not the way that they set it up in people's minds. Do I think there's realms above and below? Yes. Do I think there's a possibility that there are balls flying around? Perhaps. But it seems like more that there's land to the left or right, you know, or forward or back. Or there might be land up there or down there, but I think it's pretty much, as far as we can tell, I think it's quite flat realms. It's built a little more like a game cube, or like Minecraft, a cubic kind of thing. But that's a whole nother story. I'd rather you believe in, you know, a space force or yeah, there is. I don't doubt that there are other things that have happened. I don't doubt there's giants and different beings and different realms, and there may be a reason to have some sort of you know some sort of a military that serves to defend against those type of things. But perhaps, sure. Um, I'll go on that a little bit, but let me go into a couple other ideas. The word GameStop. Why did GameStop become popular? Because it's stopping the game. They're telling you it's so deep encoded. GameStop. What was the point of GameStop? And I could probably uncode. I could probably decode AMC if I wanted to. But just let's go with GameStop. What is the point of GameStop? What it like? If you look at the guy that supposedly started it, okay, he was worth $33 million. He looked like a guy that had not, like they just set this really weird photo up of him where he's wearing like a red bandana, and he didn't look like he ever used he didn't really look like he used a computer. He looked like just some sort of normal good dude. You could just tell it was so photo ops. $33 million, right? And he's the one that on Reddit that got the whole thing going. And the whole point was to stand the line so they could teach the bigger guys a lesson. Even though it seems as though everybody will keep your money in there, don't take it, just keep it in there. So they're all getting effed over. They could have all just taken their money out and caught their dollars, which I'm sure some of them did. But like the point was, it was a psychological manipulation and operation to on a larger scale to once again succubus money off of the little guys. Oh, we'll teach them a lesson. Yeah, what lesson? They don't care. You guys were out there like trying to hold the money line so you got played. Like everybody, you know. And as soon as they, even if they were, it was just to show a larger lesson. Like, you don't control the game, they do. Watch, they'll just they got a bunch of stop losses. It's so funny. They're just showing you like the game is rigged beyond belief, and they show you with symbolism. Um, and then furthermore, let's see what other idea. I just this is gonna be choppy what I'm getting into here, but it's just some things that I've come across on the internet recently. Um, the love and light thing. What is GameStop exactly? GameStop is a place you buy video games, and it's a place that stock market valuation was next to nothing because everything's going online, everything's digital copy this. No one's buying hard copy games. Kind of remember how Blockbuster went out of business because you could just get everything online. So Blockbuster is like pointless. So GameStop is becoming pointless. So they buy into the stock of of GameStop, and they make its market value go up. And by making its market value go up, its shares go up. And so here's the little trick that happened. It's a very simple thing. You can in the stock market you can buy a share, meaning, hey, I would like, if the share is $1, I'll buy it, and in the future it'll be worth more because the business will go, the business will be more popular and they have possibility of selling things, and the share price will go up. There'll be more people wanting to invest in this company. And you can also do something else where you can sell a share without ever owning it. Basically, you immediately you put money in saying that I think that this stock is so worthless that I'm going to put in $1, and next week it's going to be worth 50 cents. So a bunch of people on one side of the market decided to buy shares that way. So these hedge funds, they bought these shares saying, we're pretty certain this will be worth nothing very soon. So they all went out and bought all of these shares, saying, well, actually selling a share, short selling. So they're selling it, saying it'll be worth less next week. And then everybody out from this community on Reddit decided to buy the shares, therefore making the price go up like an incredible amount, which screwed over all the hedge funds big time, because now they can't cover their losses. They have to come out the pocket and pay for the losses. This happens all the time, every day of your life. It's happened for about 100 years now, since the stock market's been a big thing, right? But it happens in the favor of hedge fund managers and big companies, corporations, never little guys. That's basically the size of it. But the larger game is, it's a GameStop, and they played the game both sides of it. They already had somebody in. They wanted that to happen. They wanted that to happen. It was. So some people actually sold. Some people were smart and they bought and they sold and they made some money. But most everybody else was too busy trying to say, no, we'll teach them a lesson, because they were convinced. They were convinced of an ideology through somebody that was already working for the large corporations, that they got played even harder. Now these love and light things, they're a bunch of prostitutes. I seen this meme, that was talking about my. It says, me, love and light, my shadow self, money and dicks, and the funny thing about that is, why is it that every chick online that is selling love and light as prostitutes is always good looking, and she's always half naked and always selling crystals and doing something like it's always so overtly sexual? Now, I'm not against it. I'm do your damn thing, but just be honest. You're a prostitute. You're prostituting what love or light is, and you're taking advantage of the situation. And they're always selling something, like they're selling out of their naivete. They're selling alkaline water, alkaline diets, vegan this, and most of them are so outstandingly phony and corny. They're like it's like the fake woke people, fake woke and love and light prostitutes. If someone says love and light, I'm like, I know what that means. I know what that's code for. Like you just, oh, you're spiritually woke. No, you're not. I'm telling you about your, like it's all you're doing is acting like you're somehow some sort of fairy, some sort of you know, field and stream nymph. That's like that. I mean, that's what they do. Name anybody out there. Name these chicks out there that are not in some way selling some uh, fallacious and fellatio ideas, because they're like, oh, I'm breath work and they do yoga postures, yeah, to get their yanni get rocked open, you know. And let's be honest. I mean, they just won't be honest about it. Like everything they do, they're like, I don't wear a bra because, and they're gonna know because it's gonna explode. Yeah, okay. Well, we get it. I get it. I understand fully, but they do it. They always have to have this, and they're always good looking. There's no way around it. You're not. Where's these ugly chicks doing it? Where's these ugly dudes trying to do it? No, they can't. You know what they do? They find the dumbest, ugliest people to try to get you to understand. Oh, I don't know where the realm is we live, or that urine might be a good idea, or that anything that could be honest or healthy, or next to free to know, to use, to do. They won't. They'll popularize that with uh, rambling, mumbling, incoherent people that just look like they're a mess. That's how they sell you the ideas, and then who wants that? Yeah, I hear you about the hard copies. Yeah, I mean, I hear you about the hard copies, sure, but just like people want books doesn't mean they're gonna exist that much longer, you know? Yeah. I don't remember either. It is I think that was the name of it. I don't remember. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, the whole thing. I mean, I mean, what's the move? What's the move for anybody? Between having any sort of integrity about self, and what true spirituality is, and what does that even look like, and at what point is being selfish wrong, and when is it the right thing to do, and when do people use selfishness for good reasons, like a black magic left-handed path, which can be used for plenty of good reasons, and then there you have all these ones out here that are love and light, and I guarantee you their love and light is only to benefit them. I see it. It's all over them. It's all over them. You know what I'm talking about. Manifest. Most they're always trying to manifest for themselves. They're always trying to yeah. Look at these new things I have. Whoa, would you like some of my wares? Aren't they beautiful? Oh, only for $2.99 a month. You can listen. Mm. And it's very obvious whenever you've seen these people through the years, especially the vegan ones. I don't know how many vegan people I've seen came out years later, and they're like, it was destroying my health and well-being, and the channel's just gone. They just don't do it anymore. People were like, I mean, these were big channels. They don't exist anymore because they were just like, yeah, I guess eating a plastic diet with no nutrition isn't the right thing to do. Hey, whatever though. I mean, oh, I seen this other post. It was about you have to let everybody you know walk their path and find sometimes they're not ready for the information. walk their path on their own, and you can provide and point and show and help and all of this, yeah. But if they can't, if they don't understand the information, like, you just have to forget about it. And I was like, try saying that to a vegan that is out there just yelling at people, telling them they got to be on their path. I just love it. It's so funny. I've been in like arguments with like 23-year-old kids, chicks, dudes, whatever. And I was like, how long you been vegan? Oh, about a year. I was like, oh, so you ate a bunch of diet before that? I was like, oh, okay. And so I'm a little older than them, and I'd been through years of being vegetarian, blah blah blah, fasting, and I was like, and they're giving people shit for like, how dare you eat today? I'm like, and you did it for 22 years, and you've been vegan for one, and all of a sudden you've seen the way, the light, and the glory of all that is, and like, so people don't get to follow their path and fuck up the way you fucked up for 22 years, right? And you've only been doing it for a year, and wait until that has a quite a profound effect on your mental, and well, it already had an effect on their mental health, very much so. Oh, it's so much fun to watch, though. The show is quite hilarious, huh? So, what's up, Jana Bane? Well, I mean, that is the essential thing is, yeah, I mean, everybody is out for themselves. Everyone, because your self-preservation is the number one rule in the world. And no one is really like, I'll die for you, whatever. It's only because they want to die, because they want to die first. It's selfish. Even dying for someone is selfish. So, yeah, in all ways. I mean, everyone's always going to be selfish. The degree in which, that if somebody is a psychopath or a sociopath or a narcissist, there's quite a larger degree to, like, a lot of people that is their purpose and their goal, and be all end all, like, that's it. Then not quite balanced, huh? Like, I probably too much went in the wrong direction, where I give too much, and I don't take enough. Probably should be living. I should probably be living in much more abundance at this point, financially and otherwise. Probably, most definitely. But I always have this kind of feeling like, that story that I've told 1,000 times, but it basically ends with, if my brothers and sisters can't be happy, how can I? And that's always kind of why, my starting point for most things. You know, if I got something and somebody needs it, like, all right, whatever. I mean, if I'm fed and it's my last bite of food, here, eat it. If it's my last bite of food, or I got $5 and I got a bill to pay, and no, then you ain't getting it. I mean, that's just what it is. But that's not selfish. That's self-preservation, right? But yeah. Animals have been and their children, they're dragging them down. Yeah, apparently I've been abandoned by everyone that I know. So I must bring people down. Crazy, right? And maybe I just brought them down to another level, to the real world, huh? Who knows? Whatever. So yeah, so what we covered everything that I wanted to here so far. Love and Light, prostitution, GameStop, getting played by both sides of the whole thing. See, there's more than two sides. People don't get that part either. You gotta, it's not. It's just understanding, like, what the politics are, what the media is, what the how they use the, I don't know, man. The contrast that they're using right now is hilarious. Look at the contrast in America. America. It ain't America, United States corporation, what they're using on the media. First they used Orange Man as Orange Man's bad, and they go immediately from, what seems like, in most parts, pretty well-run machine as an organization that is running a corporation, and then they throw into the mix the thing, you know, that whole thing that went on with the people were like, oh, 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 that thing. And then that becomes part of the whole, and then the narrative that's spun by the news media. And then next comes out this guy, JB's, Joaquin Boaz, Joe Biden, and his press secretary, who is, between the two of them, are played uh, like as the most coolest, unequipped, ill-equipped nonsense that you've ever seen in your life. It's astounding, quite honestly. It's astounding. And so the dynamic is, depending on what side you're viewing it from, they're still in a battle. Like the people that are for Republican, against Republican, pro. I mean, I don't even get it. I don't get how they still how are they not getting what they're doing. It's not. How don't they get it? People, I just straight out told everyone, you know, what is it called? The fifth estate, the third arm of the government. Even the government has come out and said this. It's hand in hand. It's not. You know, people are like, oh, the media is always they're pro fucking leftist. You know, they're always about the Democrats and and I'm like, no, that's you don't remember. You don't remember 12 years ago. You don't remember 16 years ago. You don't remember like how even they flip flop positions and the party lines and every it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who's there. They're just using the media is just there to run the narrative. And here's the thing about politicians and media. Do they know anything? Or are they just saying, they're just reading off a script? Do they know anything? If you ask somebody in Hollywood, do they know anything about they're doing a Hollywood movie. Right? Do they know anything about what they're acting? No, they're reading a line. They don't know anything about it. They have no clue. They don't need to know the whole character's development and storyline and da-da-da-da. They don't need to know that. They just need to read the line. Just like the person in the media. Read the line. Okay. How much you pay me? Just you just want me to say this? You're gonna pay me $250,000 a year just to say this? Okay, do it. Done. What's they don't have any what's the word, onus to say something that's true? Is the word honest? They don't have any there's no they don't benefit from speaking truth. Their job isn't to do that. It never has been. It's to read a script. That's all there is. Politicians are no different. And somehow, some way, people still want to believe these politicians are ever going to tell the truth about anything. And the fact that whenever I see somebody is like very vehemently taking one side or another, I'm like, how do you, and they're like, especially people in their third, the intelligent people that have good humor, people that are intelligent, but then they still fall into this trap, the trappings of this. I don't care what economics you're from, poor, middle, upper class, they all still fall for the narrative. It's never the only way you could ever fall into the narrative is if you're in the upper class and you only do it because you think that's the truth, or you do it because it's funny and you're making money. That's the two options. As a rich person, you buy the narrative, and because you're buying the narrative, you're in there and that's your life, and you're completely detached from reality and humans in general. or you're doing it and you're going, man, this system's okay, whatever, I'll just take the money. What am I going to do about it? I don't run the system. Or you're middle class, just getting effed over, still watching the news, and you're buying everything in debt, completely oblivious to everything that's going on. Or, and then you, and also don't worry, the medical establishment's there effing you up too, and the education system you're complaining about has been doing what it needs to do for as long as it's been in existence. And if you don't know that, you work too hard, you're unread, uneducated, and then you got the lower class. They've been miseducated, but they didn't. At least they weren't educated too hard because they didn't. Usually lower class, you're not paying attention as much in school, and probably don't go to school as much. Probably don't care, and probably not watching the news so much. Probably not. You're probably living a much more, a less sedentary life, more outdoorsy, mostly, and doing things that involve like, you know. Other people but here's the thing is they sometimes they still fall under the spell of the TV media on the popular opinion scale because they can't they can't form long-term opinions or views from a larger scale on things. So between the lower and middle class, they're effed completely for different reasons, and the upper class, while they could change something, they're not, what benefit do they have to change anything? Zero benefit to them. It's a waste of their time. Well, anyway, so what's up, everybody? How's your morning going? Your evening? Whatever time it is for you. It's like 4 o'clock here. I don't know why I'm awake. Just woke up. Just cleaned up my apartment. Reorganized things. Almost finished. I think I was so excited because today it's supposed to be like 70 degrees out. I want to get my kayak out and I want to go float around on the lake. Let me redact that. I don't. Well, yeah, I guess a lake. I guess I want to float on a lake, the little lake, not the big one. The big one would be dangerous. I would not be on a kayak in that big lake. Anyway, so how's it going? What's up? Who's here? Ain't nobody got anything good to say? I'll probably call this a show. Oh, here, if anybody hasn't watched. Oh, I was gonna get into some other things too. Let me finish this up with this concept here. It's your boy. I highly suggest go watching it. Dr. Vernon Coleman's newest video. You can go find that. It was quite good because he had gotten angry and emotional, which he never does. Which I'm very happy about. I'm very happy about that. I don't know, because I'm an emotional person myself. I don't know, and I don't want it to be, somebody's like, oh, you said emotions are not the same as feeling. Yeah, okay, well, I might have misspoke there. Really, I'm a very feeling-oriented person. And if it comes out as what you see as emotions, so be it. Anyways, you got to watch his new one because I wanted to talk about that, which is hinging off of the medical establishment and what he's suggesting. He was suggesting. Well, here's the thing: is let me just so you can understand what I'm saying about this. I've made many videos about this. People are emotional. Your emotions are your thoughts about your feelings. You're not supposed to be emotional. As humans, we're not supposed to be. We're supposed to have the capacity to have emotions about things for a little bit so we can learn. But we're not supposed to be emotional creatures. We're supposed to be feeling-oriented creatures or creators. Feelings are literally what it feels like. Your emotions are what you think about those feelings. So this is where some of the words get kind of mixed up in language and overused sometimes. But I get what the thing is. But he was talking about Nuremberg and how it's going, and a couple other people were talking about it, how that's going to occur again. Well, here, what you need to know about that, and is as I'll reiterate what I said earlier, is everything that you think has gone on in history didn't happen the way you think it did. The world wars didn't happen the way for a reason. The Civil War did not happen for the way or what reason or how what they were doing. The it was it was never what was presented. Never. Never, 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 not once. Never that. The propaganda is so overwhelming. It's painting a picture and a narrative that they want you to believe. So if that's what they're painting, it must be something different. So to think that that's going to happen again, because of because what Vernon suggests, which I totally agree with here, uh, is that these people that are pushing, getting getting all of the poison stuck into them, and they're not telling people that this is still in clinical phase trials that won't be even until like 2023, like somewhere way down the line, like even a possibility of being out of, like, understand that whenever they're trying to figure out the efficacy of something, it takes a long time, a very long time, to figure out if you can even move on a stage. It takes anywhere between 7 to 13 years to figure out the efficacy of any sort of substance. So, in no way is it what it has it ever been. It's just it's not the point is he tries to make is this, and I agree with him, and it is part of the, this is they all of these doctors and nurses, they would every one of them be pretty much war criminals. Now I don't know what that means, because there is no you know it's like love and war, right? How can can't do this, can't do that more? What are you talking about? Like, of course you can. That's what war is. You don't understand? You're a criminal against war. Like, how do war in its what a redundant, silly thing. War in and of itself is criminal, right? Anything that is warring is criminal, right? I mean, wouldn't it be? Wouldn't you consider that? Any violence against something else, like, just not that kind of violence. No, because if everyone, everyone in the media would be, right, wouldn't they be all like psychological, like everybody that works for that's some crazy stuff. Like any government agency, any media personality, they should all be too, right? For a different reason. Psychological terrorism, wouldn't that be up there on you can't do that? Or that's allowed, that's okay? Yeah. So anyways, while it'd be cool if that were true, like, I don't know, I'm not on the side of judging these people, but I would be on the idea they need to just stop. I don't know, or everyone else should just unanimously be like, y'all need to shut the fuck up, because these people, like, they're I don't even know if they see. This is the thing is, I say this a billion times. Do they even know they're lying? So people call them pathological liars, but I'm like, do they even know? It's like the news media. Do they know? I'm not sure they know. They're just reading. Their job is to read a script. It's like thinking a nurse or a doctor knows what they're doing. Not really. They're just more highly trained into one specific thing. That doesn't mean that doesn't, like, well, I'm a nurse, so I know something about health and something about this. No, you don't. No, you don't. This is why you go watch all these nurses sitting outside on breaks, weighing 250 pounds, smoking cigarettes, bad eyesight, like eating cheeseburgers. You know what I mean? Come on now. Does a teacher know they're lying to children? No. See, this again. So while all of these people, some of them are just absolutely horrible people. They're not actually horrible for those reasons. There are some people that are doctors that they figured it out. There's some people that are teachers, they figured it out. There's some people that are media personalities, they figured it out. And some people, they figured it out. But at what point is it like, you know, when do you, how do you give up? How do you give up a big paycheck and the fancy car and, you know, maybe you got some kids to feed, go to college, maybe you got a hot wife that you normally wouldn't get and you know it, right? I can't help but think of how many, like, and what chicks parents, oh, marry a doctor, marry somebody that makes some money, marry. Yeah, we all know how those relationships turn out, but for the first part, you know, you think that's really what's good? Yeah, big paycheck. Who's giving that up? Ain't nobody. A few people will. It takes the end of their career, anyways, and it takes like already gone. Okay, everything's it's I forget who's called it. It's called fuck you money. Having enough money, just like whatever, you can make the choices you want to make. You don't need to be employed by anybody. You don't need to, you know, everything bought and paid for. You're good. Not a lot of people got that. It's a it's all programming basically. Who runs the main program? Yeah, it's a really large question. I wish I could give you a more concise answer to who. Maybe who does? World Health Organization. I don't know. I don't know. Um, if you're in the club, there's no getting out. Yeah, if you're in the club, I mean, I mean, here's the thing: there is getting out of the club, in the sense that most of these people are contracted. So they're contracted for a number of years. These people are all under contract. If you're in the bigger club, no, you're not getting out. From that level, no. From the other, like, they take on contract workers. Contract workers, they'll tend to take the next contract. They'll tend to. But contract workers, when their contract's done, they just go, all right, well, okay, you know, take the next one, but you're probably never gonna get work from us again. And if you say anything awful about working here, then we gonna libel, slander, and run you through muck. So in that sense, they don't get out. And anybody that does, whenever they're out of their contract, they'll be libel, slandered, and run through the muck. It'll be fucking standard practice. Like how would you get rid of how do you get rid of a company, an organization? You just put, you know, there was cockroaches in the In-N-Out burger. All it takes is that, even if it wasn't. So these people are gonna go, oh, but when I worked at this company, and this company, like, nah, that's not true, and I'll immediately go, no, but this you don't open up a new company trying to do the same work. Like if you do the contract work and you're done, you're done. Like you can go get a different, you can go do something else if you can on your own. Go for it. Like they don't hold grudges like that. They go do what you gotta do. Just don't expect anything from our contracts no more. So in that sense, yeah, you can get out. You can get out of it, but not if you're tapped in fully. No way. It's a different club. Because they're psychologically programmed too. That's MK Ultra shit. Like that's full on, like, that's it's like saying how is someone going to get out of certain religions? It's not that they couldn't. It's because their mind is so structured and formed into the idea of Jesus or Allah or Buddha, perhaps, or any one of these sort of figures. They always have that there. That those like, oh well, this is the controlling thing valve for this person's psyche. They're gonna use that against them. KCK. I don't know why people keep asking me about that. I don't know. I don't know about that. Oh, you're talking about it in the opposite direction. Yeah, I don't know. I assume those things. I assume those chemicals don't even work on them because their chakra systems aren't even in order. I assume they don't have. I assume they don't have a a working root chakra or a working upper chakra. I assume they have less system functioning. I mean, this is why I say they work out a reptilian brain that's working at a lower level. And if they're into like sadomasochism and domination, that's not really sexual. That's domination. That's more orange than it is red. Even if there is sex per se within these things, it's never about it's about domination. It's never about pleasure. That's tantric and that's something else. So I don't know. Yeah, I thought you were just meant for the general population. I've never been a big fan of. I mean, I have. Look, with the right people, the right places, I would. It's fun. Can be. I just like for the general population. No, it's a bad idea. It is 3:13. No, it's 4:13 here. Let's have some. Let's have some a chocolatey coffee. Mm. Mm. So good. Just chocolatey espresso-y, coffee, milky goodness. So, yeah, where are we going with this? It is 12 is noon. So Casey, when you say you're seeing blue shift, red shift everywhere, do you mean like aurically, like with your eyes, or you're seeing it from a psychological level? You're saying people's ideas and energy change, or are you saying it from you literally can see auric fields that change color? And either way, explain that to me. How you observed it, like what you think it is, because I've heard different opinions on what people think that shift means. What's up, Nature Boy Tom? 8:12 p.m. Yeah, it's through. Oh, so you're back that way. Let's see, 3, 4, 5. Oh yeah. Let's see, over there. I need to get myself a wall clock with the actual map on it. I got one on my computer, but or I got one on my phone, but I can't really use it right now. Hmm. Beer, beer, coffee, and some iced tea. That's breakfast. Lemon iced tea too for breakfast. Far North Queensland. Yeah, I was figuring somewhere between Hawaii and Australia. Bread could be 8:12. Bread's ahead of time, right from here. Yeah, you talking about? Part of Queensland. That's Australia, right? Australia. Yeah, it's the yeah. I wonder. Speaking of the Queen, I wonder where that lizard thing's been. Haven't seen her on the news. Where'd she go? She don't exist no more, huh? Or did she go underground? She go back underground? What happened? I've not seen one peep out of anybody in the royal family. Oh, not quite some time now. Whatever happened to that guy that was supposed to take over the yeah. Yeah, I mean, do you think Area 51 is as um I don't know. Do you think it is what do you think it is what it is, or do you think it's just a because normally what you do if you make something that obvious, it's to take you off of a track of where actually where whatever it is that they're using is at. You know what I mean? Like where, no doubt that it is something, but like the fact that it's so popularized and so mysterious aura. It's almost to say that it's actually not anything. You know what I mean? Or at least closer to that. I'd seen this video. Here, you guys just go check it out. This dude's name is Marcus Rosenkrantz. And I never knew who this dude I didn't know who this dude was. Okay. I knew him years and years ago from doing a video with Don Tolman because he's very much into health and he has blonde hair. He just looked like kind of a goofy kind of rocker dude, well dressed, blah blah blah. And he's old. He's older, right? I don't know. I forget. I don't know how old he's got to be at this point. Still good looking, right? And I didn't know who he was. Like I just figured he was some dude in the health food community. Turns out this dude is like super fucking super big in like he was like in some super famous bands. He did, you know, made movies in Hollywood. He's very much into like super rich dude. Like I never knew his name is Marcus Rosenkrantz, and he owns this house that he says is on a golf course. And he's like, everybody wants to see my studio, my secret studio. And so he gets into this elevator. He lives on a golf course. He gets onto an elevator and he's like, we're going to go to my underground bunker. This used to be and he starts talking about the house and he goes, this used to be like a major, bunker for, he was talking about when the house was built and what it was from. I mean, obviously it was built well before this, blah, blah, blah. But it was like for the United States, for the president of the United States, it was like a presidential bunker or some shit. This is in his house, and so he goes, okay, well, let's go on this elevator. He pushes the button, goes on this elevator, and he starts going down, 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 and he's talking about how deep it is underground. And you're like, holy mess! So he's on a golf course and he's going underground, and then he goes and he's like, I can't take you into all of these other rooms. He's like going by rooms, and he's like, I can't take you in, and he's showing the entire studio, which is amazing. He's talking about part of the studio. He's like, well, this used to have a shooting range in here and a blah 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 range, and he's showing you like an old video of, and like I had to have 12 different contracting crews come through here and redo all of this so I could get one big studio space to do all my video and and he's like, and he's basically saying there's a bunch of stuff that I can't show you that is connected to something else underneath a golf course. So anybody that's into what golf courses are, almost certainly they're built on old ruins, like old Tatarian kind of ruins, kind of thing. Crazy stuff. You gotta. It's one of his most recent ones. I highly suggest go watching this video. I was like, dude, and and it's so funny because as you're going down this elevator, there's glass around it, and you could see where there's windows. So as the guys on the camera talking to him in the elevator, they're like, okay, we're gonna go down like 30. How far did he say? Maybe like 30 meters or something, which is a lot, which is like 90 feet. That's a lot. And As the guy's filming, you can see that they're passing windows even though they're underground at this point, which makes zero sense. Unless, of course. Anyways, highly suggest checking that out. Casey, interesting. Quarks, subatomic protons, the atoms, molecules, cells, and tissues are crest point on the same old wave. I mean that's you're talking a whole different language right now. You're gonna have to give me you're gonna have to make it a little simpler than that. I just meant can you see it in an auric field from the redshift to blue shift, and that's yeah you'd have to give me a lot more. Like that's just we went from 0 to 800 miles an hour real quick with that. If you take an aerial look at Area 51, it blacks it out. It won't show you. Well, Casey, I hear you on that, but that is the well the blue shift red shift of those create a purple light, but when it's going back and forth, it's stimulating, it's causing anxiety and terror because it's stimulating your upper chakra and your lower chakra. It causes anxiety, confusion, and terror. There's no way around that. That's the whole point of it. Interesting. Okay, now I'm reading it. Interesting. Okay. You know, it's interesting. I hear what you're saying from this dimension to astral realms. So getting into those realms, I know what you're talking about. Here, I don't experience that too often. I know sometimes when sometimes when I'm out and I'm meditating and doing sun gazing, the immediate inversion of color that happens whenever you're sun gazing, it's too much to be able to like be amongst people because then you can't really see anything correctly. And so you could like literally bump into someone or not see them because your eyes are adjusting so much. Um, but yeah, going into the astral realms and you know out of body, yeah, I have those things a little bit. Marcus Rosenkrantz. It's his. Did you find it? It is I. Well, I mean, when I yeah, I don't know that they black it out, but it's definitely not. It doesn't seem to be like what's there. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they don't black it out, but they definitely do some. I mean, it's not that it's not all CGI, but you know what I mean. It's but it's definitely not a proper picture. Um, oh, I've been looking at a couple lakes and ponds and streams and rivers, and interestingly, I'm noticing it's really strange because I mean I've most of the time I've looked at rivers and things. I live on the Mississippi, so I understand how the curve, it looks like it's just meandering around like a snake, and that's how I think of rivers. Then I go and I look at a couple in the middle of the country. One being the Ozarks, another one being I don't remember all the names, but they're just look in the middle of the country. And as I zoom in on them, They look exactly like if you were to take electricity and run it a lot of voltage into a piece of wood, and that thing that will happen, it'll look like electric. It'll look like bolts of lightning, and there's these weird kind of like things that kind of branch off. And when you take and look at that, and those put electricity into wood and look at those, what it looks like, it's exactly what these rivers in the middle of the country look like. 100%. They're so weird. They're to say if something was naturally formed, these are the most non-naturally formed something. To me, it looks exactly like, as I've expressed before, I think we live on top of a computer board. I don't think we live in a computer system, like, oh, it's a digital kind of. I think we live on top of a computer board, and everything looks to be, I mean, there's could be naturally occurring events to a degree, but what I'm saying is, what we're seeing is these lakes and ponds and things. You can make them different ways, and these things were made through what to me looks like would happen is if you had a short circuit, and a short circuit produced these lakes and rivers. Really, really interesting stuff. And it's surprising to me that none of these people that have these big channels that are always talking about the resets and the mud floods and the Tatarians and they've never touched on this. So Casey, this Srimibad Bhag Bhagavatam reference the fifth canto. Tells Jesuits who passed by his vision knowledge what to do to themselves for stealing because they're so stupid. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess that's the I've kind of put it forward. I think the original land was either America or India, and most of what was stolen was definitely seems to be Hindu in nature, and getting back into kind of Tamil and the earlier tongues. Casey, I'm not. I'm not. I'm gonna. I'm gonna. I don't agree with that. The whole out of Africa theory is a white man's game. It was provided by white men. I don't believe for a second we came out of Africa. The out of Africa theory is an out of Hyperborea idea, and the Hyperborean idea isn't on this realm. The original realm here, the original people here, were um, were tan, uh, red, copper colored, Indian, either native. Like in India also means black or blue, but the actual people from here, to me, for every reason, it was America. It was the American as the original Egypt, or I get it that Egypt in Africa there's this kind of place there, but as 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 Asian as Indians are Asian. I don't see Africa being the original land, and I also see their persecution to be it's quite the opposite of everything. The slaves were Slavic, and the Slavics were coming to the white people were coming to America. The American lands were predominantly copper colored people to begin with. They could the whole thing was done in reverse, and and most of the people that were I believe most of what was happening in the opposite direction. Especially when you consider there was a lot of people that were just going to there was a lot of brown people going to Africa early on. A lot of brown and blacker people going to Africa, not coming from Africa. If everything's backwards, the slave trade's backwards, the persecution's backwards. It's always been. These slaves were always the white race. I mean, every race has been enslaved in some way, shape, or form. But when you look at the propaganda deep enough, I don't know. Well, yeah, I mean the Vatican, yeah. Um, it's just hard to say yeah, you have to go back. Who are they? Because there must have been something that enslaved the general people, the people that were here, versus where did the other people come from and what were they? Then we get into the giants. We get into ancient empires. We get into free energy. We get into the whatever the shape shifting, the controlling elite, those functioning as owners of property, and how do they come into power? What are they using? What's the, you know, there's it's a very long and arduous study to get into, because there are so many rabbit holes that are empty. Meaning, if once you start going on this line of logic, you realize, oh, that was faulty. If you start with the popular narrative, you'll never get anywhere close. Popular narrative is we're out of Africa theory. You're not going to be close. If you believe in evolution, you're nowhere near it. If you believe in a ball spinning through outer space, you're not even close. See, are you closer by believing in flat Earth? Perhaps, maybe a little bit. Are you closer if you believing that the opposite is true? Of what races were originally here, who was enslaved, how are they enslaved, what was the original, like, if the African root race, if that was supposedly here first, then how did they allow the evil devil white man per se to take over? How did they allow it? They have superpowers. They're melanated. They're stronger. They're smarter. They're faster. They have all. How did they allow the other race to take over? Which is proof that even the opposite can't even be true. So we have to start with there must have been something that shapeshifted or morphed or took over somehow, because it doesn't appear that anyone's doing too well in this realm. You know, as a small number, and they all look different. Some are Asian, some are black, some are white, some are Jewish, some are like whatever, Indian people. I mean, it's they all look different. But even within that, there's this complete caste system throughout society. Anywhere you look, doesn't matter where you are. You look exactly like everybody looks like all these people that have money, the haves. But what happened about the the kings taking care of their kinfolk? They don't. So who's the one that took over the land? Because there must have been the root races here, and something came through and screwed it up. Free your minds. We was kings. We was kings out here. What up, Shaman? Casey, interesting. I don't. That's. I'll have to reread this later. Casey K. Uh, Casey Kasem. The hit top 40. Uh, at first I think he said flatulent 72. Flaco Fuerte. Yeah, I'm gonna have to reread that later, because that's over my head right now. You know what's funny, Danny? There's a place called Ruby Slippers Cafe here. It's open for brunch. Yeah, I would like Elvis a lot more if he wasn't Donald Trump. and if he didn't steal so much music. Give me old shook up. It is quite interesting how much Trump looks like Elvis. It's pretty interesting. I say go look at some pictures then. Donald looks like Elvis. Go look at pictures of him. Look quite alike. He also looks like two other comedians. He looks like two comedians that you know. A lot of people suggest that he's played by a few different characters, which could be. I mean, most of them are, right. Most of them are played by. You have multiple people that can play the character, but does Donald Trump really exist? Okay, what the f bombs are you guys talking about? Are you guys just going through Elvis music right now? Is that what's happening? Was Elvis ever even really a name, or did they just make that shit up? Is Elvis like, does it mean elves, or is it like Levi's? I don't know. I don't know. So funny. I used to date this chick in Boston. She loved Elvis. I mean, she had Elvis all over her room. Her mother loved Elvis. She loved Elvis. Like, she lived in Salem. Well, no, I don't know. Maybe she didn't live in Salem, but it was real close to Salem. Salem witch trials. Yeah, she loves Elvis, man. He made a movie in Louisiana. I just, Danny, you have a way with destroying the English language in such a way. It's amazing. I think you're looking for made there. I think the word is made a movie. All right. Well, I guess you guys go ahead and you guys have a conversation. I'll just be sitting here. I don't even know what the hell you're talking about anymore. I got no input on the Elvis scenario here. Are you saying Salem was a witch, as in like a statement, or you're asking? Are you asking about the Salem witch trials, or are you saying? Which was very funny because a friend of mine used to date a chick named Salem, and uh, she wasn't witchy at all. She was just goofy. This is years and years and years ago, but yeah. Danny, it was my life path to destroy America S Lago. See, here goes Danny again, just mutilating the English language. I didn't say America, I said English language. America's Lago? I don't. Hey, Shaman, I wouldn't believe anything she says. She makes up so many stories. I don't think her aunt's name is Salem. I think she just makes things up as she goes along. I think she's like she's done so many drugs that all of the movies and things that she's watched, she just makes up this fantastic story in her mind and then just says it. What do you mean I can't? What do I need to read shorthand? What does that even mean? Lagos S. What is S shorthand for? Shit, stain, stink, LAGO, lagoon, America, South Lagoon. I don't even know what that. What do you mean? What is? You don't type in shorthand. You type in complete uh, poppycock. You type in and you just type weird shit. Why would you? Okay, why would you type something in shorthand when earlier you said he maked a movie in Louisiana? First of all, if maked is more letters than made, if you want to type, why wouldn't he made a movie in Louisiana? Made is shorter than maked, and made is the right word. So why would you use shorthand later? I don't even understand what you're saying. Well, your grandma, what did she have tiny little hands? How did your grandma teach you how to type shorthand? Who's she typing shorthand to? She's using a code that nobody else knows. She's using a tiny little computer. I don't even understand what you're saying. Is Danny high? Danny's always toasted out of her mind. I don't know what she's saying. Half. What's up, Blaze? I don't even know half of what she's saying anytime. She's not even. She literally just will say something and then act like it's profound, and it's never shorthand. It's just some random access point in her brain. She's like, "Brah," and just says it, and then just goes, "Oh, that was shorthand." It was not shorthand. What does it mean? Grammar. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for the. See that's shorthand. You could have got rid of the second M in there if you want to shorthand that. Why would she even use a typewriter? Why wouldn't she just go like this? That'd be shorthand for what the fuck are you talking about? Uh, Danny got straight brain mites, yo. How's your brain hemorrhaging going? Has your brain exploded yet, Danny? Yeah, well, you can't trust white women. You know this. That's your problem. How is she related to you? I thought your family was I thought your family was Polynesian, Mexican, and Native American, and Filipino, Polynesian, Mexican, Native American. Where's this white woman fit into this whole mix? I didn't know you tainted your blood. She's your mom's mom. Now you see. Look at now you're white. You never said you were white. If your mom's mom was a white woman, you're white. You ain't Filipino no more. Ugh. The amount of things you just make up on a regular basis is outstanding. Uh, how did your blood is tainted? No wonder. No wonder. You can't let white people blood in you, man. Yeah, I mean you probably had enough white semen in you. Can't let their blood in you though, man. But you already got it. You're already poisoned. No, actually said earlier what you were mixed with, and none of it was white woman. Lies. I'm gonna call you Liza. I'm gonna call you Liza Minnelli. Liza Minnelli. You have a white man's what? You have a white man's penis? Like his penis, or you yourself have a penis? Is that supposed to be a man? Why comma an S? I'm so confused. You have a white man. When did that happen? Is that new? Is that an old one? I don't know, dude. I don't even know how many kids. I don't even know how many children you have anymore. I don't know how many different offspring you have. Like it's just becoming more and more apparent. All you do is I don't know that any of those kids are yours. I think you give yours away and then just take new ones in, and you're just like, hey, I got a new kid. Yeah, four. Right, right. I don't believe it anymore. Uh, I'll no, no. It's more like it's like you got four kids by like eight daddies. Eh. You just tell that you seem like the kind of chick to tell them all it's their kid and try to collect child support from all of them. Shop. Like if I like I feel like when I'm talking to Danny is like being a teacher in the kindergarten class when a kid's going but first I tell you a story my dog so he was well he but then I was on my tricycle this one day. So, I was supposed to go get breakfast, but my dad, he was, but remember back when school was not as good as it could have been, except for the one time we had lunch there. It's like a downtrodden Down syndrome, Tourette's, having uh special needs kids. This is every time I talk to Danny, I feel it's like that kind of like Jesus. Where does Danny's brain go when she's not using it? Not one of the will do anything. That does not even English. That's not shorthand, Danny. Not one of the will do anything. That doesn't even make any sense. Not one of the will. It doesn't have even English. Ugh. Again, you're not using shorthand. You added an extra D. Why wouldn't you shorthand that? Why are you typing more now? You're so confusing. I thought, you know what? I have to stop assuming that I'm talking to adults ever. No one here is an adult. So now you bring up a beer. It goes to sleep. I don't even know what you're talking about. I'm calling me confused. Yes. It goes to sleep. Yeah. Danny's sleeping. Right, right. Do you have autism still or something? Or is that just like a function of being like I don't know, is it Tourette's? Like is it a I mean what goes along with like just lying all the time? Because children just make stories up. And the thing is when a kid lies, they're not lying, they just believe the stories they're telling. I wonder if you have that thing. What up, Carson Flowers? Hey, there's an adult in the room, perhaps. I've been babysitting Danny here for a second. Oh, you got Asperger's? Yeah, speaking of Asperger's, I might just have a breakfast burger. You guys want to go have a breakfast burger? I was gonna make a panko encrusted breakfast. I know, Carson. Man, it's like what's the thing if you can't explain it to someone like they were 5 years old so they could understand it, then you don't know what you're talking about. But then there's this thing too, right? So I could do that with most things. But then it's like you gotta talk down to somebody. You gotta talk like very basic and slow. Explain to me like I'm a 5 year old. Okay, here's how it works. And I feel like I have to talk to most people that way these days. And I don't know how to do that without coming across as a condescending cunt. I don't know how to deliver a very step by step without like You know when you give somebody too much information, like Jesus Christ, I get part of that. But then other times, like, all right, but if I give you what I think I need to provide to you, and you're like, oh, you didn't tell me how it all works. You know what I'm talking about when you're talking to somebody, if you give them, okay, I need you to go to build a wall for me. Okay, cool. In this house, I need a wall on the south side. Just get rid of the wall there because the 2x4s are falling down. Just take the 2x4s down and put new ones up. Then all of a sudden they put up a wall instead of putting up an 8 foot wall, they buy 10 foot boards and put up a wall and make it crooked and like, well, you just said put up a wall. Like, oh man, I didn't give you step by step instructions and treat you like a 5 year old. You know. Oh, avocado, adult. Good word, shaman. Adult, yes. Well, adult you can add into there. You have the three major words. You have idiot, moron, and what's the third one? Adult can be out of that. An idiot, a moron, and one is if you're one is if you have the brain capacity of a 5 year old, a 9 year old, and a 12-year-old. And I forget how they work. I think a moron is 12, an idiot is 5, and the other one is 8 or 9. There's three words there. I forget what the other one is. I don't got no avocado, but I would do that. What up, Afro Man? Arsburgers. Hey Danny, you're gonna need that number. I think you've called that number quite enough times. Yeah, adults are adult. It's kind of like European. Europeans are European. And it's Peon, but it's also peon, but I mean peon, right? Uh they're a dualescent note. It's THERE. There. Not there. There's a person. It's not a. Oh. Yes, they get peed on and they're a peon. Oh. Maybe make a breakfast burger with an egg, and tomato, and onions. Onion. I was do a panko encrusted. You guys know what panko is? I was watching a video on how panko is made, which is quite interesting. And the reason why panko is so crusty and crunchy and good and yummy, it's because the way they make it. It's not like other dough. It's not like breadcrumbs. Onions. Onions. Yeah, dual. I got no mushrooms though. I got no mushrooms would be a good breakfast burger. I could do thin fried onions. I could do onion rings with panko. Those would be super crispy on a breakfast burger. Burger. I have onion buns, and I can make onion rings. I could do like bits of bacon, onion, tomato, fried egg, mayo. Oh, yeah. I speak the king's English until I don't. Until I don't. Doe, a deer, a female deer. I can do a beer battered. What? Hey, Daddy, when you make beer battered onion rings, what's the trick there? Do you just mix egg and beer instead of egg and water? What's the move? Or do you double? Do you do the egg and then the batter and then you do a beer? I don't know I never made them before. Yeah, the bacon and the mayo di noce. Noche. Oh, the beer seasons the flour. Oh, so it's very. Okay. So it becomes like a gloop. So you make the gloopity gloppity. See, normally I would do the egg and then put it in the dry cornstarch. Yeah, cornstarch and panko. Maybe I'd go do this. It's starting to sound kind of tasty. What white onion? White onion? I got cornstarch, panko, paprika, bears. Hmm. Well. I know, Carson. Yeah, I don't know. I move myself from hunger to unhunger, even if I'm talking about food. I don't know. I just don't know if I want to eat this early because it's only 5 o'clock in the morning, and there's no reason for me to eat at all right now. I should still be sleeping, but I don't know. I was so excited about the day, man, because it's supposed to be 70 degrees out, and I want to go kayak. And here's the thing: is here's why I can't eat as well. Because if I eat and I'm out in my kayak and I got a shit, that's not a good move right there, man. Yeah, did you? Whenever Danny says, just so you guys know, whenever Danny says it's snowing, that means she's doing a lot of cocaine. She's doing cocaine. That's what snowing means. I'm gonna go skiing. Yeah, just snorting all the blow. Where the blow at? Where the blow at? Hmm. Sometimes it's like you don't like anything up your nose. You're so retentive. I don't like anything in my nose. I don't like anything in my butt. You can stick anything you want in my. Shut your mouth. Don't stick it anywhere else. Get it away from me. It's so gross. What is that? Yeah, I don't like cocaine either, but I sure enjoy the smell of it. Like right now, I want exactly what I'm talking about, but I don't want to cook it because I don't want to have to go through the whole. I don't want to because I don't want to clean it up. That's why. If I could just cook it and not have to clean up, I would do it. But I don't feel like cleaning up. And also, I don't want an entire burger. I want like a half of a burger. I'm not gonna go through the whole process of making onion rings, a burger, cutting everything up, frying up the bacon. Yeah, this whole thing, like it's too much of a process to make. And then frying an egg and all this. It's too much. It's just too much. Well, you know what? Hey, well, you know what, Danny Skylark, you have to remember, it's not the drug that's the problem. It's the people. Drugs. I don't know why does everybody clowns on cocaine like it's the worst thing ever. I've seen more fuck ups because of weed than ever because of cocaine. People are like, oh, cocaine is the worst, alcohol is the worst, cigarettes are. How about go get some? How about go smoke some cigarettes and get some cancer? How about that? How about eat all the food, become a fat fucking slop of of a shit stain of humanity. You know, everybody likes to blame everything else. Don't get me wrong; some substances are way more addictive than others because of what they do. But there's plenty of things to like. I don't know. I've done whatever, and nothing is the only thing that was addictive was weed. Carson, people that eat their boogers. Actually, funny enough, that's like a major thing in India, like India. It helps your immune system. I don't know what is the thing with kids that eat their boogers. What is that? I don't know. What is that you'd want to do that? I mean, I don't get it, but I mean, as a kid, like who didn't? You know, what do you do? I mean, even an adult, say I'm lying here. Say I'm lying. If you fart, tell me you don't like the smell of it sometimes. You you be lying if you say you don't. Oh, that's nasty. No, 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 no. Then you're lying to yourself. You're a liar, and I don't trust you. If you say that you don't like the smell of your own fart sometimes, you're a liar, and you're untrustworthy. Now, are they rancid and terrible to the point where they make you gag and they're well, then you probably have a poor diet. What is it about like most people's farts that they stink really weird and awful? My farts smell good most of the time. Smell sweet, flowers, daisies. Uh, uh. Carson said it out loud. Booger eater. Well, it's good for your immune system, and so is the aroma of your fart. You know, I mean, obviously, why would you fart if it wasn't for the aroma? uh, well, it's good. Well, there is some methane in there, and there's some like whatever. It's whatever's in it. It's kind of like poison and panacea kind of thing. Like a little bit of that smell. Like you couldn't just huff your farts all day. That'd be weird as fuck. It's not gonna help you, but there's something that they'll impress upon your immune system. I'm pretty sure that's how that works. Haha, shaman. There you go. Yeah, sometimes I'm like, nah. This. Sometimes I'll have to run out the room. Like that's too much. You know, it depends on my diet. Like if I'm eating a normal diet, I have eating a healthy diet, and I get a little gassy. I don't fucking. I'm good. I'm like, hey, what are you doing? Why don't you come and bathe in this aroma? You gonna go do some jankum? No, the funniest thing is having sex with the chick and then she farts like during sex. Not I'm not talking about like vaginal farts. I'm talking about actual fart. That's funny. It can be super gross or it can be super funny. I've had funny a couple times. I've had gross one time. One time I was like, well, I'm gonna go ahead and put my pants on and go home now. Hey, Shaman, was that your nickname? Was that because of your snake in your pants, man? Veggie farts. Veggie farts. Mm. Oh no, he said Gartner snake. It's a type of snake. It's like it's like a garden variety. They call him a Gartner, but yeah, it's a garden snake. It's just like a fun little garden snake. It can't really do anything, but it just kind of, it's like a, what are they, like tiny, like kind of lime greeny, kind of not so huge. They're not like, you'd just think of it as kind of like, what is that thing? Danny, you have all sorts of snakes in your garden. There's another Danny getting plowed joke. Hmm. Yeah, there might be garter snakes. Yeah, I think garter is right. I think you're right with that. I couldn't tell if it was garden or garter or gartner. Yeah, I think garter snakes is correct. Oh man. Yeah. Oh. Oh man, I might have got myself almost back to sleep here, which could be a good thing. Could be a good thing. With their little garters. Danny, I couldn't get plowed even if I wanted to right now. What the hell are you talking about? You couldn't or you wouldn't. I couldn't. What do you have a chastity belt on? What do you have a fucking what do you have an 8-inch aluminum dildo with porcupine pricks on the inside stuck up you that I mean what do you what? What I can never understand anything she's saying. She just if you say a word, she'll just use like the next sentence. She'll be like, yeah, it's just use it. You got poop jokes, vag jokes. This is all everything always. Jesus Christ, yeah. You got plenty of peas in your hole. Yeah, Pound Danny. That should be a, that's like a tagger with Pound Danny. Taking Danny to Pound Town. Yeah. I'll be back. I'm gonna go put this liquid back into the fridge for later, skater. I'll be right back. Pound send. Don't you? Shouldn't that say pound seed? Like pound seed into you? It should be pound seed into. You will redirect. Redirect what? Will you just direct it to one of your cousins? Redirect it to one of your cousins. Daddy's like, well, she could use a fucking dick for her right now. uh, okay, I'm gonna get out of here in a minute or two here because I think I'm gonna go back to nap time. Gonna go back to nap village. All right, everybody. Yeah, I'm gonna ass out of here because I gotta take a dump anyways. So it's been good to see everybody. I hope you're doing well. Uh, Good to see you, Carson. Good to see you, Shaman. Good to see you, Danny. And good to see whoever else was here or has been we ass out. I'll talk to you guys a little later. And if I can't get to bed, I'll be back on here. But we'll see what happens. Toodles.